everyone, my name is Kylie Flynn, and I'm going to be talking about cultural competence and what it means for educators to have cultural competence in their classrooms today. So first off, the meaning of cultural competence is being able to effectively communicate with different cultures and communities around you and implement the differences into your classroom. Giving equal rights to all of your students within your classroom, no matter their background. Being aware of the other cultures and their practices is another way of being culturally competent. Having a non-biased culture in your classroom, for instance, pictures on the wall, or making sure that you give equal attention to all of your students. Where I see myself on the competency continuum chart is a heavy question, honestly, because looking at all of the 6 options that we have to choose from, it's pretty obvious that no one wants to be on the first, I'd say 3 levels of being culturally competent. Those are pretty biased options for where you see yourself as an educator. Personally, I see myself on the 5th level. I have a lot of different reasons as to why I would see myself there, but most of them coveting around the fact that I try to be as welcoming to all of my students as I possibly can. I really try to incorporate different practices and beliefs and values into my classroom. I make sure to give equal attention to all of my students and parents so that they know I'm ready and here to work with them on whatever they need in the class. I am willing to integrate the changes and the values that they talk about to me, and it's not just a conversation, it's something that I implement in my classroom. So that's another way that I am, that's another reason that I see myself on the 5th level of the competency continuum chart. So in order for me to get to the 6th level and really feel like I've gained knowledge for being culturally competent, I have some goals that I set for myself and things that I know I need to work on. So the 3 things that I really saw I need to work on is my attitude and my personal attitude towards the other cultures and staying aware of what they are, the practices that I keep in my classroom, and the classroom policy in general. So I had this idea of creating a policy with my students, and I've done it this year already with my students, and it's working out really well because we sat down and I let the students talk to me about what they wanted to see in the classroom as far as identifying different cultures and making everybody feel welcome, and we just created a chart of everything that they needed in the classroom, and we call it a policy because no matter who comes into our classroom, this policy needs to be followed, and it's respecting people, it means welcoming people, it means never being biased towards anyone, including myself as the educator, and it's just been a really great way of integrating cultural competence into our classroom. So I'm actually implementing these things into my curriculum, which puts me on the 5th level. I'm always aware of the changes that are needed in the classroom, and if I'm not aware, I am asking the students and I'm talking to them and I'm being communicative with the parents and the children in the classroom. So these are the tools that I'll use to make sure that I'm going towards the 6th level on the continuum chart is making a personal checklist for me on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and at the end of every school year. I'm going to make sure that I have specific things set for each day of things that I need to do to make sure I'm culturally competent in my classroom. I am a big checklist person, so I know that, yes, doing a checklist every day for someone else might seem like a big, heavy task, but as a teacher, I am constantly filling out checklists and doing those. So checklist for me is a great idea to be able to integrate all the things that I need to do on a weekly and monthly basis for my students. There's also a CCA, a cultural competence assessment, that I will be working on, and making sure that I'm taking everything into a factor with being culturally competent. I will make sure that I have cultural competence and inclusivity in my classroom by making sure that the students are happy and fully aware of the differences that affect how we treat people, and we won't let these differences affect how we treat people. We are going to have set standards and a policy handbook created by the students, and it will be for the students as well as myself. Applying what I know needs to happen on a daily basis is going to make a difference on how we're culturally competent. I will want my spiritual values and morals to be respected, as well as my students' values and morals to be respected. So giving equal respect to each other is a big deal to me. I will develop policy for our class, like I said, and let the students write down what they need from me. And I will make sure to listen to my students on a daily basis, and that will make a big difference in how my classroom is going to be culturally competent.